Yes, people. Happy Sunday. It's Jacob on the one up top. I hope you've had a blessed weekend. I know I've had a good one. Refreshed my mind. Went to church this morning. Had a wicked one with the kids. Watched a load of football, which is something rare because I'm always busy working. So it was good. I just want to go straight into it. First and foremost, as you've all been doing, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, do all of that. Just get me and help me to get to the places that I want to be, trying to get as much exposure as possible and keep this channel growing. I've got a lot of things coming up. I'll be having people on the channel probably towards the end of the season, beginning of next. But for the time being, I'm just doing it on my own while I can because I've only got the time to do that. So, I was actually going to do this video tomorrow, but lots happened in the football world. Obviously I'm going to focus on Tottenham, but I was sitting there watching West Ham Southampton with the kids. Boring game. Go upstairs to go and use the toilet. Flashes up on my screen that Brendan Rodgers has left Leicester. So I was like, okay. As soon as I saw that, I was in the toilet and I was just like, there we go. That's Daniel Levy licking his lips because that's the sort of manager that's very much a yes man, won't ask for an extraordinary budget. And wherever he's done well, hasn't really asked for much money. When he was at Celtic, even though they were the best side in Scotland, didn't really spend much. When he was at Liverpool, again, produced a very good side that, realistically should have won the league. Got the best out of a lot of players like Suarez, Coutinho, Stevie G. Just didn't get there. Didn't really spend much money then either, though. And then he went to Leicester. Again, didn't really spend much money. Got them an FA Cup. And realistically, there was 2 chances where he could have got the Champions League and just fell short. So, apart from this season, did a very good job there. So you kind of look at that and think, that's Daniel Levy written all over, if you ask me. He's been flirting with the idea of Brendan Rodgers in the past before. We've ended up choosing other managers, so wouldn't be surprised if this is the right moment. So I sat there, in the afternoon and thought, yeah, probably be Brendan, beginning, at the end of the season. I've been on a few shows that kind of mentioned Brendan Rodgers, and I didn't really see it until this morning, this afternoon when he got the sack. So I thought, okay, I wouldn't be surprised if he's up there with favouritism. And then, the kids have just pretty much left to go back to see their mum. I get a message from a friend at work, and it's all over social media that Graham Potter's just been sacked. And for me, it's like about time. I'm so shocked that it took this long for Chelsea to sack him, but at the same time, I'm genuinely shocked how it's took Potter so long to want to stay there. Granted, he's being paid a lot of money, and he's not exactly gonna get a better job if he leaves, but when they lost 2-0 to Villa yesterday and he comes out saying we played well, I'm just like, you're just asking to get the chop. You know what I mean? I watched bits of that game. There were parts of the game where he played well, but on the flip side, it is hard for him. I can't imagine having 30 players that are all, I think there's 20 of them that are seasoned internationals. So when there's an international break, he's hardly got any players to work with. That's how thick the squad is. So then how do you tell sort of 7-8 players that are going away for international break for big countries that you're not in the squad this week? Because you're just going to ruffle a lot of feathers. So it's hard for him on that side. But, I can't really feel too sorry for him because you should know whether a job's too big for you or not, no matter what walk of life we're in, whether you work in an office, whether you're a builder, you work out in a trade, you should know whether you're ready for a job or not. So as much as I feel sorry for him that the owners didn't help him but just by buying a monopoly of players, it's Chelsea at the end of the day, and you should have known that, your experience at Brighton was never going to help you succeed there. We've seen Ancelotti sacked for finishing second at Chelsea, and I know it is under Abramovich, but that's the nature of the beast that you're dealing with. So when I saw him, I sat there and thought, this is so Tottenham. And for me, it's like this situation with the 2 managers really helps Daniel Levy because personally, with the move of Stellini and Mason in charge, pretty much rules out Poch. You know, why would we wait till the summer for Poch? I don't see it. Like, you might as well just bring him in now, understand what players he's got, and allow him to do his thing next season, along with Nagelsmann. Like, either one of them were free. Now, I'm hearing rumours that Nagelsmann was still wounded by what happened to him at Bayern Munich, because and he wanted some form of break. But for me, that it could be true. But this is where I say there's a difference between Tottenham and elite clubs. Because if, let's say, Tottenham are on the phone to Nagelsmann, Nagelsmann is looking at Tottenham thinking, do I really want to, I'm stressed enough as it is that I've lost my job. Do I really want to jump there where everybody's stressed and they're expecting me to fix it while I'm still stressed? No, not really. The way I look at it is like, imagine Nagelsmann is an operations manager or something like that for Waitrose. You know, arguably the most prestigious supermarket in the UK. So him leaving Bayern Munich is like him leaving Waitrose by whatever form, whether he got sacked or left on mutual consent. And then as soon as he does that, Tesco's come in, or Lidl. You know, not bad supermarkets, but they're not Waitrose, are they? So that Lidl or on your LinkedIn, do you want to come? Now, if you just smacked it at Waitrose, you're not really going to look at Lidl and Tesco and run to them, regardless of the money. If it's all about the opportunity and it's not about the money, because you've saved a load of money working for Waitrose, you're sitting on bags. You're not really going to look at, Tesco's and go running to them. So you'd say to Tesco's, I'm just taking a little break. I'm going on a few holidays. I want to spend time with my kids and my partner, whatever it is you want to do. That's what you'd say to them, because you'd be like, yeah, you know what? I can go back to them in 6 months and say, do you want me now? Right? So you say that to Lidl and Tesco's, right? But then all of a sudden, you wake up in the morning, you check your inbox, LinkedIn, you've got Sony, you've got Adidas, you've got Nike, you've got some big companies like that saying, do you want to work? Are you going to tell them the same spiel that you've just given to Tesco's? No, you're going to, if anything, if you see the job come up and you see the job description and you see that's you ain't going to wait for Sony to ring you. You're going to ring Sony. Yeah. Is the job still there? If Sony like, can you make the interview tomorrow? Yeah, don't worry about that. I'm in London already. So for me, Sony are Chelsea. We are Tesco's. Tesco's can wait, man. Sony, yeah. Interview tomorrow. Yeah, no worries, man. I ain't going football. I ain't going to the gym. Yeah, my missus can do one. I'm going to that interview. Even if I ain't ready, I'm going there as ready as possible. I'm starting to read now to get ready for that. Tesco's, like, I'm going to the Bahamas for a few months, man. I'll give you a bell when I get back, innit? I'll check Tesco's website just to see if it's available. If it's available, cool. If someone's gone there, yeah, Tesco's is the sort of place that geezer will probably last there for about 6 months. And then when a job comes available, if I'm desperate, I'll go back there. That's exactly how it is. So like I said in my video just a week ago, we won't get Nagelsmann, because if a Chelsea struggle and they get rid of Potter, that's what's happening. Now, I haven't checked my Sky bet. I haven't checked the odds, but I'm quite confident once I'm done with this video, I'll have a look and Nagelsmann would be favourite. I'm quite confident, give it about 2 weeks after I've done this video, Nagelsmann would have had a chat or he'll already be in there. But then it really helps because then, because we've made this appointment of Stellini and Mason, it helps Daniel Levy, because when Nagelsmann goes to Chelsea, Pochettino decides, okay, Tottenham don't want me, calm. All right, I'll go and see what else is there. And then he goes and gets himself a job in Spain or something. That's when Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter become our only options. Daniel Levy doesn't even need to say anything to you, because he can't go, we tried. I couldn't try when I just give Stellini the job. This is what I said. Stellini and Mason have been put in. Patrici made that statement about, oh, yes, we want them to get used to it. There's Tottenham fans that actually believe that. It's nothing to do with anything apart from the fact that they don't want to hire somebody now. They don't want to hire somebody now because they want to see how cheap they can get it in the summer. And these people like your Nagelsmann and your Poches, that puts pressure on Daniel Levy to spend. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if he brings Pochettino in and starts backing him like before, it gets to the point where the situation becomes even more difficult. So he wants another person where he just goes, you know what, I'll bring him in and hopefully he does well. So that Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter, they'll come in, they'll play some good football. Both of them play some stunning football when they've got the right players. They'll nurture youngsters, both do that. And then it'll just get to the point where Daniel Levy go, look, if you can just do that for 2-3 years, if you do well, brilliant. If you don't, I'll just go and get another one of someone like you. So the next Brendan will come in, the next Graham Potter will come in, and they just keep doing this while we've got go-karting and all that going. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm a guru, but if you're a Tottenham fan and generally thought that Stellini and Mason were coming in because we were looking at a world-class manager, you're so stupid. Sorry to be rude, but you're just dumb, man. Because for me, the only guy that can come in of world-class status, that's adaptable, and he can chat to Klopp, if anything, there's one manager out there that if Tottenham was serious and they were to get, let's say, Champions League football, which looks bleak after the Newcastle result, if they were to be generally serious and make me think cool and I could look into the future, it'd be like Ancelotti, 300 million. Because this guy, we all know Real Madrid. Even if he goes and wins the Champions League, they've won like 13. At 14th, they're going to be like, yeah, well, all right, but you made us look stupid to Barcelona in the league. Chop. You get the vibe that even if Ancelotti was to go and win both, Real Madrid are the club that just fancy a change every now and again. That's just how it goes. Real Madrid, Ronaldo, the club is that big, yeah, that to some Real Madrid fans, Cristiano Ronaldo is not even classed as a legend. But he's like their top goal scorer by an absolute canter. Like, he won 4 Champions Leagues with them. Yeah, still prefers Zidane. This is the club you're dealing with, man. So Ancelotti's, anybody there could be surplus to requirements. So if you look at Real Madrid, the only people that ain't surplus to requirements right now are probably more so the players. Benzema will be allowed to retire there because of his services. Luka Modric, Kroos. These type of players are the only players. But even that, you look at Sergio Ramos, absolute captain, leader, legend. Don't worry about it. Don't need you, bruv. This is Real Madrid, mate. So for me, if Daniel Levy was thinking like me, you'd put Stellini and these guys in to maybe to maybe get a better coach than what I'm talking about, the Poch, Nagelsmann. Because for me, Poch, Nagelsmann, Potter, Brendan, they're all them players. They're all in that little, like, they're not world class, but they're like, could be. Do you know what I mean? If they were given an opportunity, Brendan Rodgers, if he woke up and went Real Madrid, he might do a good job, but they wouldn't get him because they'd be like, no, you ain't going to do that. He might go PSG. Graham Potter, he's proved, he's just gone to Chelsea, and fair enough, the circumstances were bad, but he didn't kill it. Someone else is going to go there with the same amount of squad depth and do all right. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know who that's going to be. Probably will be Nagelsmann. Do you know what I mean? So, for me, the sackings today highlighted, made me think loads. I was just going to do a video based on the game that we've got tomorrow, but I've just thought, I knew I was right. I knew that Daniel Levy doesn't care about the football anymore. Top 4 was important to Daniel Levy, yeah, when we didn't have any attractions, because it brought him in money. He could just line his pockets and go, yeah, you can have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, loan a few players and we'll see how it goes, right? But now it's got to the point where we've got go-karting, we've got the Skywalk, we've got all these attractions, we've got God knows how many people coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to do boxing, singing. Does Daniel Levy really need that money? I don't think he relies on it anymore. Trust me. So I'm telling you now, he's just going to bring in a manager now, yeah, that plays good football. And because Tottenham fans in the round will settle for mediocrity, as long as there's good football and there's something to look forward to on a Saturday, it's cool. And those that don't accept the mediocrity on the pitch have to accept that we aren't a big club. So for me, I don't accept the mediocrity on the pitch, but at the same time, I don't stress when there's mediocrity, because I look at Tottenham for the last 20, 30 years. We have no given right to suggest that we should be winning stuff. Because if we do, so do Everton then. So do Aston Villa. Because they haven't won that much. And in that time, they've probably won as the same as us. Everton, I think they've won an FA Cup in the time I've supported Spurs. Aston Villa, I think 2 years before I was born, won the Champions League. So everyone's got their own opinion, but I'll put us in the same bracket as them guys. And if you want to go back historically, still the same thing, because we've won just as much as them too, because your Man City's even now, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal have won more than us. And if we want to go back in history and say, we should demand more based on that, then Nottingham Forest should be knocking people out because they've won 2 Champions Leagues. So, yeah, I'm not gonna go too much on that. I need to focus on the madness that's probably gonna happen tomorrow. So just to round it up, my opinion is the two managers that got sacked, Daniel Levy will probably be on the phone to them as we speak, and it'll probably be one of them two that join Spurs. But we'll get the nice football, maybe win a League Cup. But if someone was going to tell me to choose out of them two, it'd just be Brendan, just because I know that you win stuff. So yeah. But moving on to tomorrow, Monday night, at Goodison. Shout out all my Everton fans. Like, funnily enough, even though I'm from down south, I know a lot of Everton fans, man. I know, I grew up with a family that supported Everton. I've moved up to Wolverhampton. I know a few Scousers that support Everton. Good rounded club, man. As much as their spending habits have been horrible, you do feel sorry for clubs like that, because they've been a very solid outfit in the Premier League. I used to like them under David Moyes. David Moyes was, he typified what Everton was all about. It's a hard, Liverpool's a hard working city back in the day. It was a working man's club, very much like, West Ham back in the 70s and the 80s. Very solid club, and it's still like that now. But, over the last few years with the ownership causing a mess and all these allegations financially, it's not looking great for them. So but they'll be all right. They'll be all right tomorrow, because with Tottenham coming to their stadium, we're in absolute turmoil at the minute. Everton realistically need to stay in the league to have any hope of building a future going forward. It looks like even if they stay in the Premier League, they might start with a points deduction if it doesn't go too well for them. So either way, it's not looking great, but they're better off staying in it than not. But if I want to focus on the game tomorrow, I want to, Everton haven't been on the worst form. Sean Dyche has got them feeling Burnley-ish at Goodison. They stay solid. They haven't conceded many goals as they've used to. They've had a couple of decent performances. They beat Arsenal when he first came in, but that was more of the manager bounce. And I think from what I have a look, I think they're back in the bottom three. Yeah, so they're back in the bottom three, but they'll need to win this game. They got a good win at Stamford Bridge. They beat Brentford before that. I think if they win this game, they go into, let's have a look. They'll jump up to 13th. That's how tight it is down there. They'll be on 29 points, a point behind Palace, point above Wolves. So in the grand scheme of things, this is massive for Everton. For us, when Tottenham have weekends like this, Newcastle beating Man United, Liverpool dropping points to Man City. These are the sort of times where Tottenham need to capitalise and make sure that they're in a position where, they can be. We could at least go in and around Man United, even though they've got a couple of games in hand, and we've got to play them, and we've got to play Newcastle. But then whenever I say, "Oh, that would be wicked," Tottenham let me down. There's that famous saying, touch wood, I live as long as possible, but at my funeral, if somebody's gonna let me down one more time, let it be 6 or 7 Tottenham players. Just have like Harry Kane, Berbatov, Keano, Davinson Sanchez. Just go on, drop me in. You might as well let me down. Whatever players you want from my age of 7 till now. If you're all alive before me, drop me in. Just let me down. Daniel Levy might as well come there. Daniel Levy at the back, Alan Sugar at the front. Cheers, boys, for ruining my football life. But yeah, it's one of those where I'm not even that bothered. Like, if I'm watching Spurs tomorrow and we're losing 2-0 to Everton, I'm laughing now at it. I just find it funny, because I'm not gonna let them ruin a minute of my day. I'm happy for them to make me feel good. But you get these fans that they'll be like, "Oh, you don't support Spurs. Why? Because you're mouthing them." It's like, if you support your kids, you know, I've got 2 kids, and if I actually support them because I know that my support will help them. Do you get what I'm saying? So if I'm there and I'm saying to my son or my daughter and they're doing football or gymnastics respectively, I support them. So when they come home, I'm like, look, you could do this better, you could do that better. This is what I did when I was younger. And it's going to help them growing up. Me having my opinion on Spurs, Harry Kane's not sitting there thinking, you know what Jake said was right. I can't imagine Son's going, oh, Jake was pissed off last YouTube video. So they're not thinking, they think the fans to them is one person, but there's millions of us. So the reason why it's good to have these videos and have opinions, because there's millions of us. So if I feel that I can laugh at Tottenham, fine. You can cry if you want, but as far as I'm concerned, you're letting 11 players that ain't really that bothered about you personally make you cry. Not me, mate. I got other stuff that make me cry, like people passing away make me cry. Me cutting my leg open make me cry. Tottenham, it's either going to give me a sense of joy or a sense of comedy. I've supported Tottenham that long that this is what they do to me. I'll just laugh at them when we're playing so badly. Like sometimes we play that badly, I'm thinking, maybe I should go and play for him. Because I wouldn't look out of turn in some of these performances that we've put in. They wouldn't be like, oh, this Jacob's rubbish, because I was just as bad as an Emerson Royal. I was just as bad as Ben Davies. So, who knows? But, you know, when we look at the squad news, the squad, you know, injuries and stuff, when you look at us, I don't think we've got any fullbacks. Like, we've got wing-backs. You know, Perisic is apparently one. I still don't think he is. And Pedro Porro. Emerson Royal's out. Ben Davies is out. Ryan Sessegnon's out. So, you know, people are thinking about we're going to a back four. We ain't going to a back four. The only way we go to a back four potentially is if Longley goes left back, which I think he'll be all right down there. Just tell him not to come forward. Put Pedro Porro the other side and allow him be the one to go forward. But apparently Paratici said we didn't get another manager in because these players are too used to this system. Okay, so if they're so used to this system, we put Stellini and Mason in, are we saying that we're just going to keep this system for the rest of their foreseeable careers? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's like, if they're used to it, cool, bring another manager in because they're used to this deadness. Let's go and get someone that ain't going to make them get used to it. You know, if we're supposed to go and get a new manager next season, you know, are we going for another manager that's playing the back five then just to suit these players? These players have been bad for the last season or two. So are we a club now that's saying, oh, we need to make sure that these players are comfortable? No, make them uncomfortable. We need them to be playing in better philosophies, better ways. But it's Tottenham. So I think in hindsight, we'll probably go with the same formation. It'll be business as usual. Longley, Dyer, Romero, Perisic and Pedro Porro. The question I want to, you know, people want to comment is, I wonder what happens with the goalies. Because Lloris has been back in a few reserve games and he's our skipper. Does he come straight back in? Because for me, I don't want to see Lloris again. He's too much of a calamity. He's too weak. He's our captain, but he just oozes frailty to me. You know, don't take it personally, mate. You can cuss me if you want. I don't really care. If you said you think I'm frail, so be it. I'll show you that I ain't. But you're not showing me that you ain't because you just flap all the time. I'd keep Fraser Forster in. I'd rather have him in my goal because when them corners are coming in and you see a 6'7" Fraser Forster coming at you with his fist like that, you're going to move out the way. Lloris, you'll feel like a tickle in your ear. So I'd rather him back. It'd be Skippy and Højbjerg and the famous front three, even though only one of them's doing bits. So yeah, it's just going to be. It's not a game that's exciting me. Tottenham don't excite me anymore. I think if we brought in a new manager, I'd have felt a little bit more excited. But it's just going to feel like the Conte. It's just going to feel like Conte's there without Conte being there. You know, there ain't going to be no bounce because Stellini's already had his opportunity to do it. So I think the players are going to be a bit more relaxed. They're not going to feel so much pressure, but at the same time, that allows for Everton to take advantage. And if I'm honest, Everton, it feels like they've got more at stake. You know, the crowd's going to be so behind them because if you're an Everton fan and you hate what's going on, you can't stand certain players, you don't think players are cutting the mustard, you're going to put on a performance vocally to make sure that them players understand it. And if Everton take the lead, we are done out here. Sorry, we are done out here. Even if we score first, we saw at Southampton, they're bottom of the league, and we score first, and we still, got a 3-3 and could have lost that. So I don't know. It's one of them, man. I don't even know with Tottenham anymore. But I generally, my position on it is I think we're generally going to lose. It's not me being negative. It's not me trying to get views out here. Everybody that knows me in the podcast world or in real life know that I don't chat poop. I think we're going to lose 2-1. I think Harry Kane likes to score at Everton, so I think he'll get his goal. But I think that Everton are going to beat us, especially with the pressure being on. I don't like to talk about top four, but top four is the trophy for Tottenham. This is what Daniel Levy said, the president, about. This is what we've done for the last 10 years. So I generally think that we're going to lose tomorrow. I hate Monday night games as it is, but Everton in the lights, it's like a palace. It's one of them where if you're not up to speed, you're going to lose, mate. The only time I've felt confident when we've been home away is under Poch, but he's not here. Ever since we've had Mourinho, Nuno, we go away to anybody and I just ain't confident, man. I think the only time I'm ever confident away, which is weird, is when we play Man City. Not confident, but I'm like, we'll probably go and get our traditional win. That'll paper over all the cracks. But I'm going to go 2-1. We're going to lose. But what I am going to do for you is I've got a busy day tomorrow. So I'm going to do another video tomorrow to look out for that. It's going to be focused on before, the middle, and after the game. So I'm going to make sure that on my way home from work, I'll be previewing what I'm hearing about Spurs. You see me at half-time and you see me at full-time. So look out for that video. Going to end it on that. Just make sure, again, that you're liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing, do all of that. Every subscription, every like, every comment, every message that I get on WhatsApp, and that means a lot, guys. So I want to continue to keep doing it. Look out for more videos. Look out for me on other shows as well, the Hotspur Hood and Time Added On Tuesdays and Fridays respectively. But enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. The one up top.